You are listening to Steel and Thunder, Book 1 of the Steel and Thunder series, written by Dominic and Ashen, narrated by Ken B. Erotic, published by Four Horsemen Publishing Incorporated, copyright Dominic and Ashen, and 2021, all rights reserved. Dedication. To Eric for always supporting me, to Frank for always believing in me, and to Mike for always taking care of me. I couldn't have done this without you. Chapter 1. Are we there yet? I hear Nathaniel ask for the 100th time since we started walking this morning. No, Elizabeth growls from the front of the group. Now stop asking. Yes, dear, Nate sighs. Corinne and I share a look, no doubt thinking the same thing. What does she see in him? We're almost there, Adam says from his position in front next to Liz, short for Elizabeth. We should have just made it past the orc camps. The people in the last town told us that the orcs in the area were mostly peaceful, but we still wanted to play it safe and stay clear. I've also never actually met an orc before, so I'm not entirely sure I believe them. Where we come from, there aren't any orcs, or many non-humans at all. Growing up, I learned there were orcs on the mainland in the south and east, but everything I knew came from the stories I heard. They didn't exactly paint a pretty picture. Lots of fighting, blood, and death. Sometimes they were a race obsessed with honor. Other times, creatures who would invade your land and raid your fields. So yeah, holding my breath on that one. The current marching order has become our default travel formation. Adam, Liz, and I are the muscle, though those two have me beat in that department lately. They stay on guard in front while I take up the rear, with our two squishy magic users sandwiched in the middle. I don't mind. Corinne is surprisingly fun to talk to, but sometimes Nate is just so fucking irritating. I swear he does it on purpose. That's what happens when you agree to travel halfway around the world with someone you barely know. The five of us have been traveling together for a month now, 2 if you count that god's-awful boat ride, and even rang in the new year together just a few weeks ago, making all sorts of plans as a group. Our goals exploring adventures are still a little undefined at this point, but after wandering up and down the coast taking odd jobs for weeks, we finally got a good lead on something in Holbrook, the last town we stayed in. Apparently, a few years back, an earthquake uncovered some elven ruins in the mountains. Most people stayed away because of the orcs, but the rumors of there being something magical and powerful inside were enough to sway us. The desperation to do anything besides making a delivery or killing a giant rat may have contributed as well. That was 4 days ago. I'm not sure what awaits us once we get to the ruins, but I trust my team will be able to handle it. Well, most of them at least. I've known Adam forever. Tall, blonde, muscular, your classic golden boy, who was nearly always the top of our class. I say nearly because the two of us were usually engaged in a friendly competition over everything. Sports, archery, sword fighting. Once in the middle of a school day, we both jumped in a lake just to see who could hold their breath the longest. We met Liz when we entered the night academy after finishing school. She's maybe an inch or two shorter than Adam, with fiery red hair that she normally dyes brown and cuts short. Since that's not really possible out in the forest, she's taking to wearing a hood over it. I'm just a couple inches shorter than she is, clocking in at around 5'10" the last time I checked. My black hair is currently shaggier than I like it, and I've got the beginnings of a beard from the 3 days we've been out here. Corinne and Nathaniel joined us only a few days before we got on the boat. I was the one who noticed Corinne in the tavern. Not that it was hard to spot the tall, blonde, pigtailed woman dressed like a nun. After asking me not to call her that, she told me she was looking for a group to make the journey across the ocean with her for missionary work. She seemed a little weird, but there was a healthy amount of fear and disgust over the establishment we were sitting in, so I knew she wasn't totally out of her mind. Other than some Bible study or group prayers, I haven't seen her do much missionarying, but she says that helping anyone out in the name of God is good work. We met Nate the following night in the same tavern after he answered an ad Adam posted. We were getting desperate for a magic user, but I still told Adam we might want to rethink going with the obvious mage school dropout. His robe is dirty, his brown hair messy, and he seems to have a perpetual stubble, even after spending days in the forest. He's also just a little taller than I am, which wouldn't be something I'd ever pay attention to if he didn't point it out over and over and over. At some point during the boat ride, Liz and Nate
Sample complete. Ready to continue?